Ask the Experts Show with local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Enjoy being educated in such topics as personal injury law, community association law, family law, bankruptcy law, along with health show topics like pain management, men's health, and dental implants. Now, sit back and enjoy today's Ask the Experts with host Steve-O.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show. I'm your host, Steve-O, and we have a show tonight. If anybody can make wealth management exciting, fun, and educated, my experts here are the only ones that can do it. Because I listen to wealth management shows all the time. Oh, God, can I say this, how boring they are? No, I better not. I'm not going to say that. But we have, I keep wanting to say a mother and daughter team. We have a mother and son team. It's the Simon Group USA, Phyllis and Daniel Simon. And I got to tell you, I can just sit back and let both of them go. But you know what? You're going to learn a lot tonight. They're not going to start talking about how much his stock is and that much. We let the other ones do. You're going to learn a lot tonight. And there's a lot of things happening with this new Schmagag, who is our president. My guests know what Schmagag is. I don't know if my listeners do. Anyhow, let me welcome you, Phyllis and Daniel Simon, the Simon Group USA. Hi, guys.
Pleasure.
Happy New Year.
So let's give Steve all the stock tips that he wants and all the stock pricing. Yeah, he says we never give out because we don't give them out.
You don't?
Only during the day. Someone can call us during the day.
But this is not what your show is about.
No, our show tonight's about how to make latkes and brisket for the next holiday coming up.
For those people that celebrate, those of you that had a
Happy
Passover,
holidays, by the way.
I hope everybody had a happy
good
Passover
and Easter and
all that jazz.
Today is Canadian Easter.
Now we're
Monday.
finished with the spring holidays. We'll be getting on. The next one is Memorial Weekend, so let's worry about
Miss
what's
Phyllis,
going on.
When I was growing up, my mother made special Passover rolls.
Yes.
She called them, she said they're Pesadicky rolls.
She made Passover
Rolls.
Okay.
I think she lied to him because I never heard that before in my life.
And when I went to a school.
They're made out of matzah meal, probably.
Yeah,
Yes.
I went to school where there was no Jewish people there. And they go, what is that? I said, it's Pesadicky. What? What is
Major matzah meal latkes. Pesach means it was good, kosher for Passover.
Anyway, I had a tough time
When you were a
growing up.
kid.
I'm sure you did.
Well, a lot of kids do. A lot of kids did. Anyway,
Tell
tonight,
us about, first of all, tell everybody about the Simon Group USA.
well,
Because what you do it's really incredible that most other wealth management companies do not do.
Yeah, every Thursday we have a flea market on the front lawn. What do we do at the Simon Group? We take care of everything from your wealth to your health, Steve.
That's right.
That's right.
Wealth
That's
to
right.
health.
Wealth to health. That's right.
I'm starting to see some commercials for Obamacare.
It's back. It's open until August now. They reopened it up because they want to make sure everybody gets the proper coverage.
Right.
At least get something. We have a pandemic still going on.
Right.
Depending if people want to believe it or not. But there is people, they're still going to run to see a doctor. Someone still has to pay for it. So what's happening is, in a nutshell, they're going to leave it till August. Don't be surprised when you do taxes next year. If you don't have health insurance, you're going to get that little 1095A form. It's going to say, where's your health insurance? You say, oh, I didn't know I had to get it because the last president said there's no more tax law. Oh, but all the executive orders that were signed that nobody knows about,
right?
Because there's thousands of them a day that are redone. That looks like that was one of them. That
so
you
how
have to
are
have health
people
insurance.
supposed to know?
Oh, well, you could watch your media, and maybe you should tell people, Steve.
Well, I saw it on TV.
Yeah, we saw it on TV because we're not talking about it.
No, well, mostly
deductibles?
your regular network stations don't
companies.
tell you. You would have to go on to cable network to really see what's going on in the real world. As far as, policy administration.
Well, no, I'm going to
changes,
stop you
things
right
like
there for a
that.
second because no one's watching C-SPAN, okay? That's first and foremost. So you know
I'm not
exactly.
telling
It's like
them.
the Ocho.
Wait a minute, I
the
saw
rate.
it on the
I'm
Rifleman.
not telling them
Exactly.
to watch C-SPAN.
No,
I'm
but what
just saying is
listen,
to.
you can. I don't care if you're watching CNN or Fox. No one watches those stations. The only people watch, depending if you're on the right or the left. You need to get proper information. This is what the problem with people is. I'm going to tell you, facts are facts. Okay. The news you put on, you got to understand something. The media is guiding people, regardless of
Agreed.
either side. That's what they do. You need pure fact. Make your own opinions. And people that go out there and they sit there and they go by drive-by media, they hear a headline and they go in hysteria about things. Get your facts, because I want to tell you something about facts. There's either analyst and then there's journalist. Okay, and they don't tell you the full story. You read 3 paragraphs in, and the real truth.
There's no more
is the
journalist.
fourth- Yeah, it's the 4th paragraph in, but you got this whole story, and then they switch it on you at the bottom.
You need
This
to
way
read
don't get
the
in trouble.
analyst. You don't need the journalist because journalists are what we call it's their opinion. It's not. It's all biased. And instead of being unbiased, the way journalism is supposed to be. So at this point, let's
Yeah, I know
go
where you get your
on
news.
with some
Speaking
other
of
things
that,
here.
speaking about news, because I'm sure that you talk about what we're really trying to explain tonight to everybody else. And I am so excited, Steve. You see a smile from ear to ear. I know my mom's very excited also because what's about to happen, everybody? Oh, we got to love this time of year. It's time to buy a lot of life insurance. And the only reason why you have to buy a lot of life insurance is because the new estate tax laws are coming back. And know what that means?
What does that mean?
That means anybody that actually owns a home in South Florida, 'cause every home in South Florida is $500,000 or more, it seems like
Right.
around here. And God forbid you have some kind of pension or a 401k, you're over $1 million mark. And guess what they're trying to do? They're bringing it back to $1 million. Surprise, surprise. So everybody that decided that they thought this was a great idea to start taxing everybody, well, the guy sitting on the couch living in mommy and daddy's basement, guess what's going to happen? The government's going to take your inheritance.
The whole thing?
Well, not
Well,
the whole
most of
thing.
it.
Probably about 50%.
You can get $1 million, but wait a minute. What if the $1 million locked up in real estate? Now you got to sell it, and you got to sell it fast because you got
So
to pay
should
the
people
estate
be
taxes.
buying life insurance now?
Of course.
Of course.
Okay.
People should always buy life insurance. Okay, so let me tell you what's going to be going on now. All right, first of all, we know as a known fact, it's $11.5 million right now.
As of
the
today.
Estate tax, as of today.
Okay.
Bernie Sanders and a few of his cronies and a group of people in the House want to change it to $1 million, back to 2000, back to the way it was
2001.
back in the 90s. Joe Biden wants to change it to 3.5, the way it was in 2009, because he understands California real estate is very expensive, and therefore most homes in California are over $2-3 million. So it's a problem. So at this point, we know that in 2026, which is only 5 short years away,
Right.
the estate tax dropped to $5.5 million.
Oh my gosh.
But then they're trying
But
to push.
is that an executive order?
That was what was implemented when they did the revamp of the estate taxes.
They haven't
that
touched
in
it yet.
2026, it'll revert back to $5 million. Nobody realized 15 years ago, 10 years
Inflation.
ago, how far 2026 is. It's only 5 years from now.
Right.
Hello, you people that are 65 and 70, expect to die within the next year or two, because anytime after 5 years, if you have an estate worth more than $5 million, now that's including your real estate and your pension plan and everything. Now, true, there are a lot of people that don't have that kind of money, and they could care less about the $5 million. But they add the life insurance that you have that's in your name, that's not in a trust, which it should be. They add every asset that can think of, and they use the death benefit of those $1 million policies that you bought to protect your little kids or your grandchildren or your children, because you know they'll never amass the amount of money that you guys have. You better rethink, sit down and sit with an advisor. And I suggest you call us.
No one's calling. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now.
954
Gotta stop saying that.
954-599-1950, the Simon Group. Now, it's very important that you understand something. You need You need to revamp what you have. You need to check your beneficiaries. You need to see what you have, your will, your trust, or whatever you do have. And you think you're all covered, you got to revisit every year.
She forgot to tell you, first of all, what you forgot, that's what the law is now. What they're trying to push because of what's coming, the 2.25 trillion they're looking for, plus the 1.9 trillion they assigned. They need money fast, and they're looking everywhere they can.
So they're looking
and remember,
to stay.
the filibuster that they're trying to get away with it. Let's not do that. Let's executive order things. Let's try to pass everything through. Because what happened was, which I was talking to somebody today that's in Congress, and they told me in 2 years from now, it looks like the sea is going to turn because they're going to be so mad at what's going on. And this came from a heavy, when I say heavy, liberal that I was sitting down with, and pretty much had this conversation about what do you see out there. He says, because what's happening is you cannot push something and cram it down people's throats.
Right.
Right? People still out there are trying to get their daily job. They're trying to do their things. They're trying to go back to work. We have to, the whole thing was get everybody back to work. Get everybody to go, if they want a job, go get a job. If they need to go work, put food on their table and everything else. If they give me to everybody, doesn't work. You start
But
inflation
that's
that
what
way.
they want to do, though.
You start inflation. Now, I can understand, listen, if I gave you $15 an hour and you worked a full week at 40 hours a week, you go to $600 a week, you go into a different tax bracket, so you're
Right.
better off making $12 an hour, technically. So
They want to give out free college.
it's all free. There's
It's
places
not
that have
free,
that.
though.
Go
But
north.
you got to understand something. If you get free college, they have to raise the taxes like they do in Europe.
Right.
And there is 60%.
So that means we're paying
Hello,
for it.
everybody. You want to pay 60%? So you make $100,000, you'll give the government 60.
I think New York's already
and,
there.
And they'll let you
Close.
keep. Listen. 60% not including Social Security. Remember, you pay 7.65 with Social Security. So when you sit down and look at your taxes, he's pushing for 37% tax rate. So that's where, and then those that make over $500,000 that have a decent amount of money, they're going to go to 43. You know, it's getting a little insane. So what you have to do is stop and think. He said, how can I make my money last me? How
But what
can I
about the
make
marriage
money?
tax? Because they basically said 400,000. Now, if you're married, 400,000. So now it's
They
200,000.
change it down to 200,000. Yeah,
Exactly.
because that's what they're pushing for. So let's look at things effectively. If I make a certain amount of money, the whole idea when you make money is to pay yourself first and everybody else
Right.
afterwards. But unfortunately, because of COVID, and it's been like this for years and years and years anyway, everybody's spending the money. They spend more time planning their vacations than they spend thinking about their retirement, their nest egg, the backup, emergency funds, or anything. So when a situation like what happened with COVID came about, and those people that listened to me and followed what I said of making sure 6 months to 1 year in saving to cover your overhead in case you lose a job and you can't work, that you have the money to support yourself, those survived. A lot of them didn't. They went to food banks. They had help. They couldn't pay mortgages. They couldn't pay rent. And yes, there's so much time that the banks will be lenient. There's so much time that a property owner, even though he was told he could not kick the people out, he still has a mortgage to pay
That's right.
on that property. So where's he going to get the money? You got to stop to think. It's a cycle. It's a round cycle, and everything goes in cycles. So people, you got to stop and think. For the first, most important thing, your taxes will go up. It's what you wanted. You got to be careful what you wish for. That's number one. You thought that you're going to get free things. Free things don't come free. You give up freedoms of things that you have to get free stuff.
Let's go to break. Who wants to give out the number?
954-599-1950. The first 10 calls will get free toasters.
Oh, God. You can't do that.
Of course
know.
not. We're not allowed to give away anything.
I said toast.
Toast. Okay. Let's go to break. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Steve O with the Ask the Experts radio show. At the Simon Group, their goal is to actively help families, individuals, and business owners build their financial freedom. They have the skills, knowledge, and experience required to help meet the client's established goals. They understand their clients want a comfortable retirement, but that means different things to different people. And there are other goals that they can emerge along the way, from planning for a child's education to planning for a managing income in retirement. That's why the Simon Group offers a range of financial strategies and solutions to help in every step of the way. They work with you to gain confidence and stay flexible and prepared for your financial future. The Simon Group serves their clients in estate and investment solutions, insurance protection, income, stocks and bonds, retirement investments, and insurance. Contact the Simon Group for a free financial planning appointment today at 954-599-1950. That's 954-599-1950.
And we are back. This is the Ask the Expert show. We're on every Monday and Thursday from 6 to 7 with South Florida's greatest experts in the area of financial, legal, health, home improvement. We're with the Simon Group USA, Phyllis and Daniel. Simon, and you know what? We got to talk about, so what do people do to protect themselves now?
Well, first of all, number one is sitting down and with an advisor, and preferably us,
Yes.
but sitting down with an advisor and go over what your goals are and what your wishes are and what you want to do if you have a family, if you're single. Listen, everybody needs financial advice. It doesn't matter whether you're single, whether you're young, you're old. Everybody needs financial advice. Why? Because they should be investing money always. Money should always be investing. Money doesn't make money sitting in a shoebox under the bed. It loses money, actually, when you do that. Even loses money in some of the banks nowadays because they're paying under 1%. How much is inflation running by, Danny?
Well, I don't know. Have you been to the gas pump lately? 'Cause that's
How about
inflation.
Clark Griswold's brother-in-law put it in the backyard, didn't
Exactly. The coffee cans. That's probably one of the best. You
he? Yeah,
know.
look at the,
so
you're
gas
right, look
went
at
up
the gas.
$1 a gallon already where I
But
went.
you know what's funny? Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. Because you sit there, mouth open. Oh my God, why is gas going up? And I actually read or actually saw people having a discussion online about this, and someone's talking about and I'm like, are you guys out of your mind? The reason why it went up, first of all, we shut down a pipeline. Number
Yes.
one. That's first and foremost. Number two is that we're giving the Middle East back what they wanted originally.
Right.
So now all of a sudden, since we're got rid of jobs, we shut down pipelines, of course gas can go up. Now they're all talking about, it's an economic cycle.
No.
People have
now
no
we're
idea.
trying to become dependent on them again.
Exactly.
That's
And that's what Trump
exactly
took
it.
away is
Well-
the dependency, and we were the number one when it came to, and also,
He said fill up the brim. And you know what? Nothing wrong with that, of not having, we don't want to be dependent on anybody.
yeah, but gas was like $2.
Because that's the
$2.10.
same thing with your finances. You don't want to be dependent on anybody. The government wants you to be dependent on them. Guess what? You want to talk about you have to wipe out all your assets before you go long-term care? Then they throw you in the hospice, and you know what happens in the hospice? When the government pays for it, you're out in 2 weeks.
Medicaid, the government pays for it, and then you go to a nursing facility because you got to give up all your assets to get free Medicaid nursing. So long-term care, you got to give up every time you have,
Say this
including your
again now.
home.
Say this again.
All right.
To go into hospice,
To hospice, not really. It
For
depends.
the government to take over.
For the government, no.
finances.
Hospice is when you're sick in the last 6 months of your life.
Yes.
That's when you
Of course.
go to hospice.
But,
But if you have a lot of money, most people want Medicaid to take over because the children want the property. So they try to go through Medicaid.
Okay.
And it ain't. They go back 5 years. So the government takes over everything. So you got to
Wow.
understand is you have.
But they're not
you
putting
have-
you in a long-term care facility, was what I'm trying to tell you.
They're gonna they never put you in a long term. They put
No,
you in a
They're
nursing
saying a hospice
home.
facility, that's where they put you.
It is
And
a
the pe-
nursing home, which is like a hospice. They expect you to
Exactly.
die there.
Oh,
They
my
expect you to
God.
die
That's
there.
exactly
what I'm
what
trying to
it
say.
is.
They don't give you the Ritz-Carlton, right? They give you,
yes.
so you got the, here's
See,
the
what he's
NSAIDs.
trying to bring out is what he calls a hospice situation is when you go into a nursing home, okay, even if you have 3 more years to live for long-term care.
That's
it's
on
the
hospice,
inability. No, it's not really, but they treat it like that because if you go into a nursing home like that under Medicaid nursing home,
The worst.
that means that you don't have that you have Alzheimer's, you can't do two activities daily living. So what they do is they take away your house, they take away your assets, they take away
Wow.
everything. Why? You want the government to pay for all this stuff?
No,
Give me-
actually, I don't.
you can't expect to get both. You can't have
No,
your
you're
cake
right.
and eat it too. So you're gonna get the cake, okay, and the only way you're gonna eat is if you're gonna spend down every penny that you got. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is, we talk about estate taxes, and everybody says, "Oh, I don't have much money. I have a small estate." Well, how much is your house worth? Sit down and think about this.
Gotcha.
How much is your house worth? Oh, you got a 401k at work. All right. How long have you worked for the company?
Right.
Oh, only 5 years. You'll probably have 7 more jobs before you retire, but you're going to build up that 401k money into an IRA or whatever. You're going to keep building and building. And before you know it, if the government is going to tax you on everything, because to understand what an IRA and 401k and all these pension plans are, the government knows they're getting their money sometime in the future. But smart planning keeps you from paying the government that money in the future if you do it right. And when you do it right with planning with an advisor and they know what they're doing, in other words, they have information about taxation, they understand under a certain level of income how you can get around things, what position you should be in by the time you're 65 or 70 to not to have to take so much money out and pay very minimal in taxes because you have no debt. And that's the key word, zero debt. Okay? It's like somebody we know, went out and bought a car. Used up their money to buy a car. Why? When you can get a car for zero financing.
I know.
So people make mistakes. We want to stop them before they have the chance of making mistakes. Am I right, Dan?
Of course.
Listen, I saw my brother-in-law in Dallas, doctor, and I got to tell you, if it hadn't been for his financial advisor, I don't know where they'd be today. But like you guys, they hold your hand, and like you said, you should go in at least once a year
Exactly.
because things change.
That's right.
But not everybody does that.
No, and especially if you're with the investments, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more often sitting down speaking with people. It comes down to being of, you know what, people decide not to make the time. Everybody has the time to do it. Just they decide not to make the time. And you know, the only fault is themselves. I mean, you can't sit there and twist everybody's arm. And some
That's
people you
right.
have to twist their arm because you're like, you're not rationally thinking of what you're talking about. Because a lot of times they get steered in different directions. And everybody that they sit down with, this guy's a know-it-all, and that guy's a know-it-all, and this one and that one. I'm like, listen, think about this realistically. This guy's telling you to do something, and I'm looking at it and saying, because this is your pros and cons. We're going to tell you the truth. That's the problem. We tell you the truth because we do what's in the best interest of the client because we are fiduciaries. We have to do what's in the best interest of the client. The other guys out there trying to make a buck with me, we turn down a lot of business a lot of times because we can't work with the client because it's either
They want to hear what they want to hear.
and
Right.
it's not.
And
here's-
I won't tell them.
Do you know what your company would be so perfect for? Are these athletes, these pro athletes.
We have our sports division called Legends, Sports and Entertainment.
But what happens is they gamble with their money.
Well, I'll tell you, the majority of people in the
And you're
Sports is
conservative. I mean,
Of
you are.
course, but it comes down to being of what ends up happening in 3 years they're out of money. That they
Yes.
have what we call the posse, where they have 15, 20 people around them. When they first get their first contract, they owe everybody back. Guy cuts a $5 million first contract. Remember, in the NFL, the second contract's the big one. The first one,
Right.
first 3 years is nothing. So let's say the guy's that good. It's $5 million contract. $2.5 million goes to taxes. Buys a house, buys a couple cars, goes out to eat twice, and guess what? He has $47 left.
But you know what? The kind of money they make, they should be set for life.
Yeah, but you see, this
even
is
the ones
what-
that make $400,000 a
It
year.
doesn't matter
Doesn't matter.
because he has what we call hangers on. Remember, there's something I have to say before I go on further with about these sports athletes because they get hammered and they burn out. There's an expression I use all the time, and it's called procrastination is the thief of tomorrow. And it's very true. It steals away from your children. It steals away from your spouses. It steals away from your own future. So procrastination, even though, a lot of us do it, and I myself, I'll procrastinate doing something that I really don't want to do. But that should be the first thing that is taken care of. So you have what's called peace of mind. So when you go to sleep at night, your family's going to be safe if you didn't wake up the next morning and you never made it to the job. Or God forbid you got hit by a car and became permanently disabled. That's another thing, disability. Look what we just went through this year with all this mental illness
People
issues.
passing away never thought they would die.
Well, first of all, the people that passed away. But now we have a whole big thing with mental illness issues
Right.
because people couldn't accept what happened with COVID. We have now people that are going out on disability due to mental illness. So this is a problem. And everybody said, not me, not me, not me. It reminds me of the little kids in the kitchen. When you say, who ate up the candy bar and who ate up the cookies and who drank all the milk? And not me lived with me for many, many years. I got a couple of not me.
My sister.
So the other thing is, as far as sports people, there's something that most people don't understand. The young kid gets a contract. He's got hangers on, what I call hangers
Right,
on.
I understand.
All these hangers. So he's got the manager that gets the percentage. Then he's got an agent that gets the
Right.
percentage. Then he's got this money guy who's, put his money away and gets the percentage. Then he's got his
Mom
and
and
his
dad,
sister and his
right.
brother and his father and
Cousins.
the stepsister and the cousin that who always helped him when he was a kid to shoot baskets or play ball or whatever. And that's what happens. That
Their
the
payroll
young
is too
guy
high.
ends
Very
up,
big.
like Danny said, with $47 in his pocket, owing the
You have
IRS
to- because
a
if you're not
fortune of
planned-
money.
They don't plan properly, and the whole
That's
thing
it.
is it comes down to being it. And I blame to be honest, I blame their agents
Oh, of course.
because their agent goes, "I got a guy." Yeah, you got a guy. Listen,
And the agents,
anybody that says, first of all, they have to find their own financial advisor away from everybody
Everybody
else
else.
they're doing. Because the guy that gets referred to him from the agent to this, they're all on the take. They're all on the hook. And guess what? This poor schmuck sitting there. Like, what does he do next? Right? Go look. I was watching a great show, by
Because these
the way.
are kids. They
Listen,
don't understand
great show
finances.
on CNBC. A-Rod does it. He was just on with Evander Holyfield.
Oh, I know the show.
Okay, so then also
So he lost all of his money.
he lost all of his money because of bad investments, because of bad people, and then he had the original guy from American Idol, the first before Ryan Seacrest took over. That guy was driving an Uber. Like all these famous people, got wiped out, started at zero. Ryan Lockley was on there, or the swimmer, or whatever.
Yes,
his name was.
yeah.
yeah. So I was watching it, and I'm saying to myself, God, this guy made $200 million boxing. And worth nothing living in a 2-bedroom apartment here in Fort Lauderdale.
Wow.
They show his mansion, 109 bedrooms.
Right.
It's like,
and that's all because of the way the people take advantage of them because they think they're stupid, which most of them is. They're not money wise. They're not stupid. They're just not money
they never
wise.
taught properly,
And-
and no one ever took their best interest at heart. It was all when someone hangs on to somebody, it's what's in it for me, and that's the problem.
So I'm going to say this real fast. I represented a local big name player here, and he showed me the brochure from the financial advisor. The pictures in there were Rolls Royces.
Yes.
I'm going to say it, black guy with 7 white girls in bikinis, all
Yeah.
kind of pictures. Nothing about finances. Nothing. It's like,
It's all in the dream.
look at the picture. This is
It's
what,
what
you're going to
you're gonna
have,
have,
if
right.
I'm representing you. It was sickening.
Of course it's sick.
And he got a back then it was a lot of money. He got a $700,000 signing bonus, and his agent put it in a CD. That's what he did with it.
Better than sitting there gambling
Better
away
than
from.
gambling it away.
Well, no, but I'm saying, you know what? I'm guarantee you would have sat down with him and said,
Well, of course,
"Listen,
I don't know why his agents put the money away from him, but that's one thing they can do. You know what? I'd rather him do that than say, listen, let's go open up a restaurant on the corner here on Federal Highway. You know what I mean? Because those are the biggest losses. Anybody, it's kind of
why
funny.
would you need a financial advisor tell you to put it in a
You
CD?"
know what the biggest financial loss ever was? Hulk Hogan was supposed to have the George Foreman grill. He
Right.
decided to pass it up.
Really? Oh my God!
Yeah, so you think about
We
things
talk about that.
You think about people pass things up, opportunities.
Right.
Like we were watching how pizza was made, Pizza in America on the History Station the other night, me and my brother-in-law, and the two brothers from Domino's, they were trying to catch up to Pizza Hut from the Midwest. He had no Domino's or Pizza Hut in the Northeast, right? Because everybody's a pizzeria on every corner. So the one brother didn't like what the other brother decided to do at Domino's. And he decided, I want out of the business. He shut down the menu. All you want to do is serve pizzas instead of the sandwiches and everything else. So he gave him his car to buy him out.
Okay.
Right? It was a Volkswagen, some jalopy. Well, that little jalopy cost the other brother $800 million.
Because he got rid of.
Because he wanted out of the business because the other brother could. Remember, business decisions. People need to not knee jerk. They need to sit there and really think it out. They have to have common sense sometimes, but sometimes you're too close to it. You got to take a 30,000-foot view and take a look and say, okay, you know what? I'm listening to reason. I'm looking from right to wrong. Who has my best interest at heart? Well, you know what? Sometimes a second opinion, you need to have that person sit
I
down with
agree.
you and say, hey, you know what? I'm looking at this, non-biased. To us, you know what? You want to use this, great. You don't. Listen, there's the door. Don't let it in your butt. Because you know what? We know what we do for a living. We know how good we are. Okay? It's not like we're sitting there hurting for business. All right? I don't need people's business. I want their business. I want to help people. That's what I want to do.
That's right. That's how you are.
And that's
Yeah.
the way I am. I
We
love
pride
helping.
ourselves in helping people. That's the main thing. We pride in helping.
And I
don't care.
like what I do.
And you've been around.
34 years.
Okay, you don't stay around for 34 years in the financial business
Never.
if you hurt your name.
Yeah, my name is my goal. Truthfully,
We got to
my
go to
name.
break. Give everybody the phone number at the office. This, you know
You
what
want to
they're
give us the real
telling
name
you.
this time, or
Yeah.
the one
No,
that
no. But
chooses?
what you're saying is a second opinion
That's the
is
best thing.
important too.
I don't care who you are. If you have Obamacare all the way up to $100 million in the market, you need a second opinion with everything. That's to make sure you're doing it properly and things are lined up and you get to sleep well at night saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to give this guy a call. And the number is 954-599-1950 and say, hey, this is what I got. Please tell me what I have, what's good, what's bad, what's indifferent about it.
Right. And you're in Fort Lauderdale, but it doesn't matter because you Zoom. You can be in.
We're all over the
They
country.
We're
can
all
be-
over the place,
yeah.
and some people, if they've had their shot and they wear their mask, I'll come visit them.
Wow, that's saying a lot.
It sure is.
Okay, let's go to break.
Hi, this is Steve O with the Ask the Experts radio show. At the Simon Group, their goal is to actively help families, individuals, and business owners build their financial freedom. They have the skills, knowledge, and experience required to help meet the client's established goals. They understand their clients want a comfortable retirement, but that means different things to different people. And there are other goals that they can emerge along the way, from planning for a child's education to planning for a managing income in retirement. That's why the Simon Group offers a range of financial strategies and solutions to help in every step of the way. They work with you to gain confidence and stay flexible and prepared for your financial future. The Simon Group serves their clients in estate and investment solutions, insurance protection, income, stocks and bonds, retirement investments, and insurance. Contact the Simon Group for a free financial planning appointment today at 954-599-1950. That's 954-599-1950.
You are listening to the Ask the Experts show with host Steve-O. We will be right back with more experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Join us every Thursday from 6 p.m. Now, get ready for more Ask the Experts.
We are back. We're here with the Simon Group USA. Phyllis and Daniel Simon. This is the Ask the Expert show. My name is Steve O, and we have got, this is my easiest show to do because it's about wealth management, but we're having fun doing it. Now, what's wrong? Do we have a phone number wrong?
No. Actually, she was wanting to tell me about our sponsor for this 15 minutes, Mrs. Flagellant's Chili.
What?
That was an old thing from back in the day. Danny.
So I just want to thank all our sponsors.
Miss Phyllis, has he always been like this?
He takes after my husband. Let him so rest in peace.
Oh.
That was my husband's. Actually, that was my husband's restaurant that he was supposed to open.
That's
But
right.
it didn't come to fruition because of other reasons, but it was just very funny.
A lot of hot air.
Oh. Sure.
Anyway,
Let's talk about tax rates.
Well,
So the new tax rates
are going up.
Are going
Okay,
up.
so this is what's going to happen for 2021. Individuals are going to go from 13 to 13, 3 or 4, a few $100s more.
Right.
Couples are going to go up a little more instead of 25,000, 25,000, it'll be a little more. If you're over 65, you're going to be close to 14,000 single, but couples 27, 28,000. So that part is good as far as deductions, exemptions on the taxes. However, they're going to raise the tax rate. So your paycheck is going to go down a little. And they're trying to figure out about Social Security, how they can max out on it more because they're going to need more money. So they don't have a way of
But
getting
they're
the
going to
money.
take it from Social Security?
No. What they're going to, well, some of it they're going to take, remember, Social Security went into the general fund. Social
No, but
Security
it's
doesn't have a separate
supposed to be
fund
broke
anymore.
in 10 years.
2035, we're going to have a problem. At
Okay.
that point, it'll start. And then it'll funnel out unless the American people do something about it
Right,
now.
right.
Okay, get rid of the people that are in Congress and Senate and change their terms to 6 years each, and don't let them get a pension for those 6 years. Let them get a pension from another job. Let them
They'll
go
become
out and
lobbyists,
earn
though.
their.
Hold on.
Wait a minute, just let me finish because they keep doing this over and over again with their taxation. Okay. They get away without paying taxes as we do. We pay taxes in a different one. They get expense account. We don't get expense account.
Who's
so they
they?
don't pay tax. You're talking about your senators and your congressmen
okay,
and
yes.
everybody. That's who they are. So the point is the American people, the taxpayers, we own the Capitol building. We own everything. We pay for everything that's built in Washington. We paid for it from our tax dollars. We entrust them to take care of our money to pay for the goods and services we need. The goods and services we need are the following. The post office, which they really don't take care of anymore. Our military, our police, which trickles down to the local communities. But we pay for all this. We give everybody tax money. So they're going to raise our taxes. So we're going to go from 18, 20, 22, 24, 27, all the way up to 43%. And then if you're one of those very lucky people that make over $500,000 a year, you and your wife together, you both have good jobs, you both work very hard, you might go to 43%. Now, you got to watch this. You got to be careful because if you're not watching this, then you're going to have a problem and you have to figure a way how to shelter some of your money. And you got to do it the way the big boys in Washington do it. And if you could do it that way, it would be great. But you got to sit down with people like us.
But you can do it the same way our congressmen and senators do it?
Well,
Do they
excuse me, I
bury
can't
stuff?
give them an expense account, but I can help them shelter money. I can help them max out what they can do and sit down with them
What's
and
going
go
to
over
happen with
everything.
deductions? Are they going to
Deductions, listen to me. They're trying to change some of the deductions. They're changing the capital gains tax also.
Right.
They want to change it to ordinary income. And then an
They want
extra.
to tax everything on
In other words,
stock trading.
in other
everything.
words, ordinary dividends are taxed at a regular tax, but they're going to take the the qualified dividend, and they want to use a taxable gain tax on that one, along with the capital gains too. And then they were thinking maybe we'll change it all to ordinary income, but what we're going to do is that section is going to be a higher tax bracket than the rest of their other money. So somebody could be paying 37% on the investment money and 32% on their regular money. It all depends. It depends on what these guys in Washington are doing, because you can't keep giving away money and not have. You can't keep printing
Brings
money.
you back to the fact that you got to know where you're getting your information from.
Well, wait a minute. There is not enough millionaires in the United States
Oh, yes,
to
there
pay
are.
for all these taxes.
No. There's
No.
not enough millionaires. You only got
It's coming from
1%.
everybody. Hold on, stop. Time out. This whole thing that everybody thought if you made over $400,000 a
Right.
year, excuse me, you put money in a 401. I don't care if you're making $30,000 a year. You put money into a 401k at your job. You're paying for it. You're paying. Everybody's paying their fair share. Trust me when I tell you this. So all this is about the only ones that are not paying is to sit home and don't work. If you're sitting home and not working, you're not paying. Don't worry about it. But if you turn around and have any kind of a job, you're paying for it. Everybody's taxes are going up regardless.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they lie
It's
to
not
you.
just the
They
millionaires.
lie. Oh, they lie. Look at the headlines out today. I mean, what you're seeing out there. They're all lying about everything that's out there.
I was sitting and reading all the new tax laws that are going to come through under the IRS. Listen, that's one book that holds true. It's the IRS pamphlet number 17. That holds true on the taxes. And when I was looking at 2021, and I'm going, whoa, so you have to stop and think, in my practice, I'm not a tax expert. Okay, got to understand that. But I know taxes very well. I also know accounting very well. And this is what helped my business survive throughout all these years, is understanding tax law and understanding taxes and understanding income and money. Money, some people call evil. I call it could be a friend, because I never met a poor person that could smile saying the word poor. And you try to say it, everybody out there, say the word poor, and it's not a smile, it is a frown. And when you say rich, it always comes out with a smile. So when you understand that, and you understand how important paying yourself first is, then you got to do that.
Funny you say that. You know the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Wait a minute. You're saying pay yourself first
Always.
before your employees?
Pay yourself first. Well, employees is the same thing. If you're an
Oh, okay.
employer, you get a paycheck just the same way.
Right,
employees.
right,
Now
okay.
they do say, I
Put
pay
away
all
money for
my
yourself
employees.
first
I
before
don't
you
take
start
any
paying
money
for
for
everything
myself. But that's baloney, because he files a tax return at the end of the year, and then whatever's left over, he takes. But he does. If he has a pension plan, he pays himself first. That they all do.
They say you could strip everybody away for their money, give everybody $1 million, and the rich people will stay rich, and the poor people will stay poor.
And you know why?
Figure that out.
How are people going to get around this?
Unless you vote it out, you're not.
Okay, but we're not going to vote it out.
No, we're probably not. And it's going to get worse and worse until you become Venezuela or Canada.
So what do you tell your clients now?
I tell them to save their money. I tell them, number one, life insurance, one of the most important things to
When will it
have.
pass
So
money?
you're
to get
telling them to make
family.
sure they get life
The-
insurance.
I make sure
Listen,
everybody has.
I'll tell you the reason why. Go spend all your money. Go live your life. As long as you have enough insurance to take care of your family, your estate, everything else, go spend all your money. You earned it. You deserve it. And guess what? When you pass away, they're going to get tax-free money. Why should you sit there and keep on holding on to it so the government can take it from you when you try to pass it?
So what does that have to do with life insurance?
That's the only
With
way you
life
can
insurance,
do it.
it's not taxable when it passes to your children.
It's a
So let's
tax-free
just
event.
use an
Voice
example.
probate.
Which is better? You enjoying your life as a
I
senior,
got you.
and then saying, you know what, I don't have to keep this money in the IRA, the 401k, or I don't have to keep all this money in the bank for my kids. Let me spend it, and you know what, I'll buy myself a policy, take a small portion of that money, and buy myself some decent life insurance. And then this way it'll pay out to my family when I die, but at least I can enjoy my life. Oh,
Right.
I can't go anywhere. My kids, they're not well. They may need the money. They don't touch
You're
any
still in the
money.
basement eating Cheetos,
Yeah.
playing Xbox. You know.
And you know what? I'll tell you something. Yeah, I get excited over that because I've watched this. I've watched people not have
You're
a
very
life when they get
passionate.
older. And let me tell you something. Your senior years could be golden for some of you, and it may not be golden for a lot of you because you don't take care of the most important things you need to take care of, your health and your wealth. The wealth helps your health. Your health helps your wealth. It works as a circle together. And if you
love
don't
her.
They got rid of
understand
Dr.
that,
Seuss.
then
She
we got a
runs.
problem. You know, and this is the way I feel. 34 years of doing that. I love what I do.
I know
and
you do.
I would, if I was not in this business at this point in my life, I'd be an advocate on the radio day and night telling people what they should be doing. Because I see young people making mistakes. I see people, unfortunately, you know, life is very cruel. And COVID was very cruel to a lot of people I know and took away some of their best partners.
Did you lose any friends?
Children. Pardon me?
Did you lose any friends?
I lost clients,
Those ones.
unfortunately.
You know what's funny? You say you'd be on the radio every single day. You know who's on the radio? Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at
Who?
10 o'clock in the morning.
Devo!
You know, I found out today. They
Yeah.
finally got him the job. From janitor to the radio. It's very good.
They still make me clean up, though.
Yes, they do.
That's wonderful, Steve. I'm glad that you're on every day.
Every morning.
Except Wednesday, right?
Except
Yes.
Wednesday.
Wednesday's a monkey. It's hump
Well,
day.
you know, Wednesday's a Jewish holiday.
Oh, yes.
The new Cadillacs come out.
That's right.
That's right. It is. We'll be there.
It's an old story. Yes.
Yes. So, how do you determine how much life insurance somebody
Human
should
life
get?
value.
Huh?
Human life value.
Your
So
human,
your human life value.
life
So
value.
I'll break it
Is-
down very simply. So let's just say you're 50 years old. You make $100,000 a year. You're supposed to live another 30 more years. Right? It's $3 million. 100,000 times 30. $3 million. That's how
Okay.
much you should have. That's human life value. Now, people sit there and say, well, I'm not going to live to 80. Well, listen, I lost my crystal ball when I was 7. So I don't know when you're going to die. But you want to make sure you have a policy that's enforced when something does happen. So
When-
it does pay out.
That's
so,
right.
Can somebody who has diabetes,
yes.
Yes.
high blood
Yes.
pressure,
Yes.
Foreign national. Yes.
And
Anything.
depending on when
Get-
they had
they
open
can get
heart,
life insurance.
and
Of course.
depending on when they had open
have all the
heart
carriers,
surgery,
open heart
and
surgery,
depending
there's-
when they had a heart attack, and depending on when they had cancer, that they can get insurance.
We
Now,
have all the
I'm gonna-
carriers.
a lot more expensive.
Depending.
Well, it depends on your age too.
Right.
Insurance is bought with your health and your age, and the older you get, the more expensive it is.
You know what I love? You know what I love when they say, "Listen, you could have insurance for 49 cents a day, and you can
Yeah.
have $20 million worth of insurance." First of all,
Gerber's.
You have, yeah, right. You have to be like pretty much a Superman, right? And you have to have the insurance. It's a 5-year policy, and you have to be 30 years old, right? So they don't tell you the fine print. Read the fine
Right,
print.
right.
So technically, 86% of the country is standard. That's what it is, standard.
That's it.
That much?
Yeah, 86%. Remember, in the next
Never
10 years,
went-
we're the most obese
me.
country there is.
Obese country.
Worse health conditions.
And-
Remember, the reason why they want us unhealthy, they make more money when it comes to medications. Think about what really happens. I mean, Steve, come on, you know this, that the unhealthier we are, the more money is out there
Right, right.
for the system to run. So if you really think so, it's like you turn around and look at all the foods that we consume, all the stuff they put inside these foods. Look at every other country and look at the foods they put. They don't put preservatives and all this other craziness in there. I mean, think about what we eat. Remember, inside a supermarket, on the outside of the aisles where all the refrigerated stuff is, you eat, and on the inside, stay away.
Right.
The aisles, inside aisles, stay away from it. And you know what? You'll probably live 20% longer just by doing it that way. But they don't tell you about that stuff. You know, anything frozen, all the other crap they put in there. Eat fresh foods, fruits, vegetables. You know, you'll feel a lot better, number one. But it's like you look at people, and everybody's diabetic. Pre-diabetic, diabetic, this, that, the other. I mean, think about it. You really look at the
Most
chart.
of it comes from the pills. Anyway.
I heard an ad.
Yes, most
For
of the
life
diabetes
insurance.
comes from taking pills for your heart because you develop a heart condition from the food that you've eaten, and you may have a family history of like cholesterol or
Right.
carotid arteries or whatever, or your coronary artery disease or whatever you can have. But the problem is that the fast food America is obese. It's like, you know, you ever walk into Walmart and see skinny people? Tell
No.
me the last time you saw a skinny person in Walmart. Now, that's not to say Walmart is a terrible store. It's a very good store, bargain store, and it's good for a certain select group of
I shop
people
there.
that shop there that need things. But I've
Best meat
never
and pies in
seen
town.
a skinny person in a Walmart. And there's a reason for it, because they have all the good stuff in there that everybody wants to. Remember, they have a supermarket in there. So and they
No.
put. If you look at the way those aisles are put in, and you look at their clothing, and they have
all sugary
they have
stuff.
different sizes. They don't have a lot of small sizes. Their sizes start medium, large, extra large,
Extra
super
medium.
large, big woman, big man, the triple. And it's not funny, but it's the truth. The point I'm trying to bring. The point I'm trying to bring out is that America is its own worst enemy as far as their health. And that's what we're trying to say. Hey, smarten up. You got kids. Take care of your kids. You want to live long enough to see them get married. Some of them, you want to, and especially today
people
when
don't like
people
their
aren't-
family.
Well, sometimes, but
know?
but
About
today,
Walmart. How many people ride those
today,
carts around the store,
there are
you know?
more
It's like-
dependent children living at home with their parents, and they're in their 40s, and you say, hey, what is a 40-year-old man doing living in his house with his mother and father?
They have
Get
Hot
out of
Pockets
here. You know what I
and
mean?
Xbox.
Do all
There's-
life insurance policies, do you have to get a physical?
Yes.
No, hold on. Some of them you don't. Guaranteed issue policies.
In the land of COVID.
Oh.
The land of COVID. Okay. Anybody over a certain age needs blood and urine. Anybody under a certain age is super healthy and their medical records are just super, can get away with it.
Okay.
Okay,
No, they
depending
can get
on
away
how
with it.
much
Hold on, time out.
insurance.
Wait a second. I can get you a $500,000 policy right now if you're under 55 years old. No medical at all. MIB, Medical Information Bureau, will take a look at your medical
Yes,
history.
if there's
So,
nothing up there.
there's nothing up there. But guess what? You could still do it without a medical. And that's what they're advertising on TV.
Yes.
And that Ethos and all those companies that go out there and advertise all the stuff, that's what it is. They go look at the Medical Information Bureau. So whenever you go to a doctor, the guy writes his notes and he puts stuff there.
If you have
So
insurance,
you're not reading the small
everything
print.
goes
No.
to the. If you have insurance,
But you can't get it without them taking blood or urine from you.
And-
You just better be ultra, very, very
And
Well, I
healthy.
if
hear
you
the
lie-
one $200 a month life insurance policy if you have, and you can have diabetes and high blood pressure.
Yes, listen. You get policies with that. That's
they'll look at
guaranteed
your
issue.
medical
Oh, $1 million
history.
policy.
Yeah, guaranteed issue.
They'll look at your medical history to make sure that your diabetes and your high blood pressure is under control. And also weight and height has a factor. So sometimes people are a little too short for
We
their
call those
weight,
gravitationally
or a little
challenged.
too tall. It's an old joke, but a little too heavy for their height or whatever you want to say it. But
keeps on-
Stephen,
I can't help it.
you keep making him laugh. The point is, yes, you can get life insurance. You can get anything you need if you're basically healthy. And that's number one. Number two is those
There's
of
some
you...
impaired cases we can
those
take, by
of
the way.
you-
They're not because you're totally healthy. Listen, there's some impaired cases. If you've ever been declined for life insurance, give me a call, 954-599-1950. I can make miracles happen. So it's not 34th Street, but this is what we'll do. If you have ever been declined, give me a call, and we can sit there and shop it out for you, and I can try and get you a rating. 954-599-1950. Because the insurance Scrooge over here doesn't want to approve anybody.
Over here, just listen. All of you out there, you know what it was like living with you, taking care of your kids in the house, and stuck in the house with schooling this year. Understand something. Disability insurance, I don't care what job you have, whether you're a blue-collar worker, white-collar worker, you don't have disability on the job, you contact us for a disability policy. You're going to need it. 954-599-1950. Disability replaces your income when you cannot work.
We've got 30 seconds. Why should I retain your firm?
I can give you 16 different answers, but there's only one answer I'm going to give you, Steve. It's because we actually care about what happens to your financial future, because what happens is if we do a great job for you, you can refer people to us. And that's the way you should retain us. But you personally, I'd actually give you to the guy down the street.
Yeah,
Yes.
with the sign in his hand.
That's right. The neon sign in the front door.
Well, we've come to a fast hour. This is the easiest show I've ever done. This is the Simon Group, USA, Phyllis and Daniel Simon. Let's give everybody the phone number. If you don't give them a call tomorrow, after hearing what you've heard tonight, shame on you. Give them your phone number.
954-599-1950.
And you'll be back with us next month.
Yes.
Yes,
And
yes.
with that, I wish you
More
all a
fun.
good night and good health.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back with you Thursday at 6 p.m. and tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for listening to the Ask the Expert Show, featuring interviews with local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Call our office at 888-574-6999 to become one of our experts on the show. And tune in again next week for more Ask the Experts with Steve.